channel.
Coming back to y'all with another quarantine. With another quarantine video. Is this shit even on?
What's up, gang?
It's JP
and Tosh, and welcome back to the channel. What was that?
Channel.
What is that?
Is that how y'all be doing it?
Oh, girls. The girls do whatever they want, and that's on period.
So it's like.
Oh, I just do that.
Like cut.
Yeah. Babe, I don't know. It just happens.
Okay. Well, y'all.
So before we get into this video, I'm gonna need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe.
And push that notification bell.
Smash it. Smash it.
The notification bell.
So you never what?
So you never miss a video.
And that's on what, babe?
I don't know how to do it. Period.
She just.
No, I got enough attitude, I guess, y'all.
That's not what we're doing today, okay?
Now, without further ado, y'all, we're gonna get right into the video. So, you got the questions ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, number one.
So, is TV an effective tool in building the minds of children?
TV is definitely an effective tool. I just think it depends on what they're watching. Children are like sponges, so
right.
They're gonna absorb anything they see.
Right.
So I think it definitely does have a direct influence on a child's mind what they're watching on TV.
I agree 100% because I mean, you can't just have, I don't know, like you said at that age, depending on what age they're at. No, not really.
Not at all age.
Because it's like children, if we're talking children, we're talking like small children. Not even small children, but like, what, 10 and younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever they watch, they gonna want to copy it. If it's something that they like, they're gonna want to do something like it.
That even goes to like kids older, like with like music and stuff. Like,
right.
People, what they hear in songs, they think are what's cool to do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Make sure y'all are following along and leave us a little comment what y'all think about these questions.
Yes, please. So, should schools teach LGBTQ sex ed, and at what grade, if you believe that they should it be taught?
I feel like this could be a touchy subject. Us being part of the LGBTQ community, I definitely think that it does need to be noticed in school. I'm just trying to figure out what age, because you have to be careful with that. I think it should be at an age where it's obviously appropriate, but also where they're young enough that they don't think that it's so
outlandish.
Yeah, outlandish for a boy and a boy, or a girl and a girl, or whatever, to be together.
But what about those parents that don't want their child to be exposed to that?
And I guess that's what makes it hard too, because I was about to say that like there's some kids that are parents that don't want their kids to be in sex ed at the time that sex ed's taught.
Right.
So normally they would have us like take home something and say, oh, is it okay that they're in class? And if your parent wasn't okay with it, you couldn't be in the class. So I was gonna say something kind of like that, but I guess that takes away from the whole point that, you know, these are things that kids need to know, in a sense.
Why would it take away from it?
Because if I say that, like, oh, if a mom or dad or whatever doesn't want their kid to learn the LGBTQ in sex education, then they can just opt out of it. And then that is like the whole point of
defeating the purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
agree with that.
I do think that it needs to be in sex ed. You know, it needs to be noticed.
Yeah, because what about those kids that know about themselves? They know that they like the same sex, and like,
right. And then it's not really helping them.
Right. So they're just trying to figure it out and go about it on their own.
So what age would you say though? That's the hard part.
What age do you get taught sex ed?
I don't
Shit, when the girls are having sex. And when I say the girls, I mean the girls and the guys, like everybody.
Yeah. So what would you say nowadays? Nowadays, I would say,
shit, 6th grade.
Yeah. 6th grade. I agree with that.
When did sex ed taught? Was it 9th grade or was it 7th grade?
I know that we went over it like freshman or sophomore year. Went over it again, but I don't remember when it was initially taught.
Okay. Next question. So homeschooling versus attending school, like actually going to school.
We both attended school all of our lives.
Yeah, so I can't really like give too much knowledge on homeschooling, but I personally feel, and it's not to make anybody feel bad, but I feel like people who are homeschooled, they're just a little more socially awkward.
Yeah, I was about to say that goes directly back to just like
human contact,
social interaction, and all those type of things. They will have, unless not for sure, you know, they might have cousins or whatever. They might go out frequently, but for the most part, they're gonna have a harder time making connections and relationships with people their age. They're gonna be a little bit more. Yeah, I guess it's awkward. And I don't want to say it in like a negative
No, it's
way.
not. It's just like you just have a harder time being social with people. Yeah. I'm not saying that kids that actually attend school don't have those issues either. It's just I personally think that it's more likely for someone who is homeschooled to be a little bit socially awkward.
And another random tip, with all this virus and stuff going on right now, something else that may be affected is when you're around so many people, your body builds up that immune system. Whereas say you were at home being homeschooled, if you get out in the world, you probably will be a lot more susceptible to like
getting
different.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's another downside of it. Upside of it, a positive, you have one-on-one. You're probably way more focused.
Yeah.
Probably have good grades.
Yeah, the focus is the main thing, because, you know, I mean, I can't lie. I mean, I used to go to school. Not I went to school for my friends, because I bitch was doing good at school. But I used to love seeing my friends and, like, just having that time. But you probably are way more focused when you're at home.
And they also got, like, sports. Like,
who got sports?
If you're not going to school.
Oh,
like,
I thought you said homeschool.
I don't know. That might, I don't know if there's a way for them to, like, I don't know. There might be some type of team for them to,
like, they could be on a team in their school district.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how that works. If y'all know, let us know. But
yeah,
I think that for me personally, I know that sports was a huge part of my life. So I couldn't imagine me going through school without, you know, that team that you grow and you just really like evolve as a person. I was very like shy, and basketball definitely brought me out of my shell. So I don't know what I would have did if I didn't have that.
Yeah,
I think it's very important.
I think I was just a social person.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, it worked out for me. If it was my choice for my kids, yeah, I definitely would want them to attend school.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would you want? Yeah, I want my kids to attend school.
So I want them to have that experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Does curfew keep the teens in check?
I don't think nothing keeps teens in check. Their parents. That's who it all lies back on. Is their parents need to keep them in check.
Yeah. Okay. Now I do feel like people shouldn't be overbearing with their kids, because that can cause their kids to become rebellious. Yeah. But you also, I don't think you should let them do whatever they want. I don't want to say that it doesn't do anything, because it does. Like, sit down in the house, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be in by this time, or blah blah blah. Like, it keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah,
and that's just that.
I never know a life without curfew. I mean, not till I got older, but I didn't I remember being younger, and I started hanging out my freshman year with some older kids, and they would just be out because they were older. I'm like, She would tell me to be in the house at like 11:30, and I'd be like, that's when people are going out.
Girl, but how old were you?
I was in high school.
Right. My mom told me that at 18. She told me 11 o'clock at 18. I was like, huh? And she was like, I was like, Mom, 18, I'm grown. She was like, what? Girl, she treated me. Let's just say she treated me. Then I tested the waters because I was getting ready to go out one time and it was around like 10. And my dad was like, where are you going? I was like, I'm out. He was like, this late? And I'm like, yeah, like it didn't start until later.
Right.
And he was like, well, if you don't come back at this time, don't come back at all. He ain't mean like he was kicking me out. He meant like sleep out. But I wanted to sleep in my bed. So I came back.
I would have just stayed out.
Stayed out for what? I mean, I stayed out until it was time to go home and I came home.
What's the next question? What question are we on? 4?
No, 5. Okay, should college be free?
Yes. We just trying to get an education, y'all. That's it.
For real. Like, okay, even if not free, lower.
Way lower than what it is.
Way lower. Because at the end of the day, like, I know you're putting in for like other things, like building and
I mean, it's an investment.
All that other yeah, and it is an investment. But I just feel like some prices like for what?
That also goes back to the fact of how you're taught in high school. That I know for me individually, it was like if you weren't going away to college or university, like you kind of got looked down on. I remember we had like, you remember that sheet that used to be up, and people when they knew they were going somewhere, they put like a pin of where they were going.
No, this was in school.
Yeah.
I never.
Oh well, there used to be like a map, and then like when people knew where they were going, they like used to put like their name or whatever, and they used to pin it where like the school was. So like they made a big thing like once you knew where you were going to university, all this different stuff. They don't tell you what you're really signing up for at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's an investment. I'm not saying that all like don't go to college. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make sure you really sit down and think about it before basically signing
your life away.
Yeah, signing your life away. That's there are some things that you do need to go to school for.
So I was gonna say, is college essential? I think that
for
it's not
things.
Essential, but you could definitely benefit from it.
Oh yeah, what I think I personally benefited from college is like maturing, growing up, being on my own for the first time.
And you mean like going away?
Yeah.
Because you also have like the junior college aspect of it. And that aspect is just like, in high school, teachers are on you. They're asking you like, why don't you have your homework in or blah, blah, blah. Like, in college, like, your teacher will, I'm not saying that they won't. They'll completely just like, oh, I mean, oh, well. They're not going to do that, but they're not going to be on your butt.
They're not
the
gonna
way,
check for you.
Yeah, they're not going to check for you the way high school teachers check for you. And then, like, you're going to find out 2 weeks before your finals that you are failing. And then it's like, okay, well, too late to drop.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get this grade up? Now you email your teacher asking for all types of extra credit.
Like I said, like if you want to be like a doctor, a lawyer, like things that need that educational background, for sure, you need to go to college. Do it the right way. But number one, if you're not fully set.
Like entrepreneurs?
What do you mean?
I don't feel like I mean, I guess business, right?
I mean, yeah, but business and entrepreneurship, I mean, it goes hand in hand, but I feel like if you're going that route, then just take classes on like finances, learn about numbers, things like that. I mean, they're not going to tell you like, they give you this idea that you go into school and you're going to come out with almost a promised job, and that's not the case at all. Many fields, in fact, it's hard to find a job in that field, or the field is too broad that you kind of don't know where to go but back to school again. And then the bills just rack up.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are going to go to college, I would do something specific. Like, choose something specific that you know you want to do. I mean, sorry, babe, but psychology.
That's facts.
Like, you have to be specific in what kind of psychology you're trying to do, and even still, like, you have to get a master's to
Make
I'm not
good
saying
money.
yeah, to make good money. Like, you could do things with a psychology degree.
You could do, I mean, counseling,
You could do things with a
Like,
psychology degree. It's
ABA therapy. It's just not those. It's not what you would think you'd be making annually after putting the amount of money you put in.
just in that amount of time.
Right.
But
So, go to school, stay in school, just do your research.
yeah, do your research, and like I said, if it's something that you actually don't need to go to college for, don't waste your time.
Don't listen
or
to all
your
those
money.
people making you feel like
Feel bad for not going.
you're left behind.
Right.
You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Check back with them in 5 years.
For real. Okay, next question is, has technology affected communication in a positive or negative way? I have a little bit of both.
Yeah, I was about to say a little bit of both.
I think that communication, like as far as in relationships, I feel like it made it easier for people to communicate in relationships and other ways.
It made it easier for people to communicate in relationships.
Not even in
Via just like if she's at work and I'm at work, we can still communicate. We can text each other.
Mhm.
It also made it easier for people that it's not easy for them to talk to people, to confront people, to whatever. It made an avenue for them to be able to socialize.
It made it people for it made it easier for people who essentially like don't know English, or if you don't know a foreign language, like
You
if
can
you're
write that in there, just translate.
yeah,
real quick.
Google Translate, like it's very helpful, and I think that we've come a long way in technology. But I also do think it affected it negatively.
Yeah, because I mean, people don't know how grammar. Like, you will be amazed how many people are writing shortened, abbreviated versions that, you know, it's
in a paper.
text is meant to be quick. You want to on the go, done. So sometimes in order to do that, we shorten it up.
Right.
Be right back, BRB. Like,
Right.
do stuff like that. So it's like you have people that it's so second nature to them, and a generation like ours that's so technology based. We're writing a paper. I know that I haven't turned it in because I always check my work, but
You did that in a paper?
yes, it wasn't BRB. I forgot what it was, but it was like a regular word that you would say, like that. And when I write that a lot of times in text, if I'm going fast, I'll put THT, like that. So like I know that I don't know if it was that specifically, but say for instance I'm writing that car and I actually wrote THT car. Like it's just so second nature because, like I said, we're so technology based. It messes with some people's grammar for sure.
Man, there, and there's. Oh, but wait.
Yes, y'all know y'all variations.
Man, y'all need to really make sure you're using the right.
I'm going
what's the
to the store. TO. Me too.
TOO. Okay, so next question is: you cannot have a happy family life and a successful career at the same time.
I think that could go both ways. I think that if you're working for your family, but you're working so much, you won't be able to be around your family.
Yeah.
So you won't have, what's the word you used?
A happy family life.
A happy family life. You wouldn't have a happy family life because you don't have a family life. So how could it be happy? You're always at work.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, you can have a happy family life and balance your work if you have that option. Say you are your own boss or you have flexible hours.
Yeah.
It's very obtainable to have both, I believe.
Yeah, like you said, I think you just need to find the balance. And sometimes that's hard for some people, like they can't. And when I mean hard, I don't mean like, oh, they can't do it. No, I mean like it literally, the way their life is set up, it wouldn't permit them to do. Yeah, it's out of their control. So I just think that that's something that, one, you probably have to talk to your spouse about. But if you can try to find the balance, then find that balance, because
yeah, I mean, we see it all the time on like movies and stuff where a mom or a dad's always away at work, or if they're even at home but they're always on their cell phone.
Right.
You're trying to talk to them and it's like they don't hear you because they're doing their work, or you're at a family picnic or family outing and your dad or mom's always stepping out because they have a work call. Like,
right. Yeah, you just have to find that balance, because just as much as work needs your time, like your family needs your time. So, yeah.
So.
And then the last question is marriage outdated? I don't think it is. I think that nowadays,
we live in a society.
I feel like, nowadays we live in a society that feels like there is no reason to get married.
It's just a paper.
Yeah, it's just a piece of paper. But to me, it's something sacred. I feel like it's a commitment at the end of the day. And that's something that I would want to share with my partner. And it's not just it's a piece of paper, or it's not that to me.
A lot of people think of like it being real costly because of the actual wedding, or if you think of the negative side, it's costly if we get a divorce.
Right.
But I think that it's kind of like putting your bet on something. Like, I'm gambling. I'm putting all my chips in.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, you lose a lot of money, but that's the art of gambling. Like, when you date somebody, you're supposed to be putting your heart on the line. That means you're putting it on the line to possibly be broken.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible, but if you're doing anything less, you're not going to get the full experience. You're not going to.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like just nowadays, people are just so comfortable with being in situationships, and
it's normal almost.
Yeah, it's not even almost, like it is normal. And I feel like those really don't. I'm lying. I take that back. Not that they don't lead into bigger things or better things, whatever.
Not if you don't make them.
Right, but it's just like, it's just a situationship, and that's where stuff gets tricky, because then it's like, I don't really owe you anything, or you know what I'm saying?
You could always fall back on that. Like, we could be going at the situationship for 2 years,
right? And
then you move funny, and then you go,
you're not even my man for it,
right?
What?
Got me.
Like, just don't get comfortable in situations, because at the end of the day, like, anybody could leave the situation. You have no commitment. There's literally no commitment. This is like, we're talking. Okay, well, he could be talking to 3 other females too.
And sweetheart, if you are okay with that, do you?
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
whatever works for your lifestyle.
Yes, do it.
Do it. But at the same time,
don't be mad.
Don't be mad, and always know your worth. Yeah. Like, don't settle for nothing less. Like, you have one life. It could be gone tomorrow, you know? So do what makes you happy, and make sure people are living up to your standards. Like, if you're not going to push people to live up to the standards you set for them with yourself,
then they just going to treat you however they treat you.
Yeah.
So if you're not okay with it, then either get out of it or say what you got to say. Like, say, what is this? Or make it more than what
people,
it is.
Like, mostly girls feel like that's so hard to just be like, so what is this? Like,
because
society puts that stigma on it, where it's like, if you say, what is this? Like, you feel like you're nagging. You feel like you're
trying to push for a relationship.
Yeah, like, no.
But it's more so just for clarity.
Yeah. If you're at a mature age, and if the person you're dealing with is mature as well, they get that. They need to get that. And if they don't get that, they playing you. Period. They playing you.
What?
Period. They playing you. But in my opinion, marriages are not outdated. No. I like to think of myself as kind of old-fashioned in a sense, where I guess you could just say I'm lovey. Like, I think of it as I want to have a wedding. I want to have that day. I want it to be like, even if it's not, we're spending
celebration.
Like, even if we're not spending like buku bucks, like, I want it to be a memory. I want it to be our little fairy tale. Like, I want to have pictures to show our kids someday.
Right. It's a celebration. It's like celebrating a commitment. Yeah. Like, I mean, you celebrate when you graduate. Going to school was a commitment. a wedding is a commitment. It's something that you want to, you know.
When you made that bet at the casino and you won that prize, you celebrate.
Okay.
So that's that on that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that was the end of the questions that we have for y'all today. Well, we have for each other. Y'all too.
Yes.
Make sure you comment down below and let us know what y'all think.
Yes. Thank you for everybody that's been watching us so far.
Yes,
we really
thank
appreciate
you so
it.
much.
We will continue to be consistent for y'all. During this quarantine, we gotta give y'all content, something to watch while y'all snuggled up in bed. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe,
and push that notification bell so you never miss a video.
Yes, sir.
And with that being said, we gonna get the up out of here.
All right, y'all.